Very good morning to all. Very good morning, students. Okay, so students, now should we continue again with our last topic? That is, last where we have stopped. Last we have stopped at the two types of igneous rocks are there. Okay, so students, we will continue with the this definition of these two rocks. Okay, now I forgot. Now you remind me, please, students, which are the two types of igneous rocks? Yes, first one is the extrusive igneous rocks, and second one is the intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, extrusive igneous rocks and intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, extrusive and intrusive. Clear? Now students, I want to ask you one question. Have you ever heard about the word lava? Okay, from the volcanoes. Okay, in any of the country, you have heard in the newspapers or anywhere in the TV about the lavas coming out from the volcano. Okay, definitely you have heard that. Okay, so here I am going to talk about that. Okay, the lava which is coming out from the volcanoes. Okay, so this lava actually the red molten magma. What is this lava? This lava is actually the red molten magma. Okay, red molten magma. Okay, and it is coming out from the interior of the earth. From where it is coming out, students? It is coming out from the interior of the earth. Okay, it is coming out from the interior parts of the earth. Okay, students, so when this molten lava comes out from the interior of the earth, okay, when this molten lava comes out from the interior of the earth on the surface of the earth, okay, coming out on the surface of the earth, it cools down and become solid. Okay, again it cools down and it become solid. Okay, it converted from liquid to solid. Okay, so by this way the rocks are formed, and these type of rocks are called extrusive igneous rocks. These rocks are called what? These rocks are called extrusive igneous rocks. Clear, students? These rocks are called extrusive igneous rocks. Okay, okay. And why it is called extrusive, student? Have you observed that word extrusive? Extrusive, it means to come out. Okay, and here the molten magma, okay, the lava is coming out and the rocks are formed outside. Okay, the lava is coming outside and the rocks are also formed outside. That's why it is called extrusive. Okay, please remember, students, that's why it is called extrusive. Okay, now I will talk about the intrusive. Okay, intrusive. Now what is the intrusive igneous rocks? So students, sometimes this molten magma cools down inside the earth's crust. Okay, the molten magma cools down inside the earth. Okay, the magma will not come out. The magma will not come out, but the magma will cool down inside the earth only. Okay, the magma will cool down inside the earth's crust. Okay, so by this way the rocks are formed. Okay, by this way also the rocks are formed, the solid rocks are formed. Okay, by this way also the solid rocks are formed. Okay, and these type of rocks are called intrusive igneous rocks. Intrusive, it means the lava is not coming out. Whatever the process is done, students, the process is done inside the crust only. Okay, inside the earth's crust. That's why it is called intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, now when I talk about the examples, so what about the examples of each of the rocks? Okay, so the basalt, okay, BASALT, the basalt is the example of the extrusive igneous rocks. Students, the basalt is the example of extrusive igneous rocks. Okay, and the granite, okay, the granite is the example of intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, granite is the example of intrusive igneous rocks, and basalt is the example of extrusive igneous rocks. Am I clear to you all, students? Okay, good. Okay, now this much whatever we have talked, students, this much whatever we have talked, we have discussed, that is about the igneous rocks. Okay, now igneous rocks are, the concept of igneous rocks is completed. Okay, now we come to the sedimentary rocks. Okay, what is sedimentary rocks? Okay, so students, when we talk about the sedimentary rocks, so the rocks, sometimes the rocks are rolled down. Okay, sometimes the rocks are rolled down, the rocks are cracked, okay, and broken down. Okay, the rocks are sometimes the rocks are rolled down, cracked, and broken out. Okay, broken out into small fragments. Okay, students, sometimes the rocks are broken down, cracked into a small fragments. Okay, into a small fragments. Okay, rocks are cracked down and broken down into a small fragments, and these small particles are called sedimentary rocks. Okay, these small particles are called sedimentary rocks. But don't think that, student, these small particles are very small particles like you found in your streets, in your society. No, these small particles, actually they are very big particles. Okay, it's they are small, but they are small in compare of the other big rocks. Okay, but actually they are very big. Okay, so you cannot imagine as a very small particles. Okay, they are not conker and like clay and all. Okay, they are not too much small, but they are large and the big particles. Okay, so in other rocks compare, these particles are small, so it is called sedimentary rocks. Okay, clear, students? Okay, so now you understood about the sediments. Okay, these small particles are called sediments. Okay, these small particles are called sediments. Okay, small particles are called sediments. Now these sediments, okay, these sediments are compressed, it means to press. Okay, but naturally, not artificially. Okay, these sediments are compressed and hardened, it means to make it tough. Okay, to make it hard. Okay, so these sediments are compressed and hardened to form the rock, and by this way the rocks are formed, and these type of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Okay, students, I repeat all this process once again. Okay, when the rocks are cracked and broken down, and it forms the small sediments. Okay, it forms the small sediments. Okay, it is converted into small fragments, and these small fragments are called small sediments. Okay, and when these small sediments are compressed and hardened, so by this process the rocks are formed. Okay, and these type of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Am I clear to you all, students? Am I clear? Okay. Okay, now if I take the example of sedimentary rocks, then what should I say? The example is the sandstone. Okay, the example is sandstone. Okay, now students, it is up to about the sedimentary rocks. Okay, now we will talk about the metamorphic, the third and the last type of the rocks, the third and the last type of the rocks, that is metamorphic. Okay, now what is called the metamorphic rocks, students? Okay, what is called the metamorphic rocks, students? So the igneous and the sedimentary, okay, the igneous and the sedimentary, both these rocks can change into metamorphic rocks. Okay, these sedimentary and igneous, both these rocks combined under the great heat and pressure. Okay, under the great heat and pressure, these igneous and sedimentary rocks get combined together under a great heat and pressure. By this way the rocks are formed, and such type of rocks are called metamorphic rocks. Students, I repeat once again, the igneous and the sedimentary rocks, both the rocks are get combined okay, under a great heat and pressure, and by this way the rocks are formed, and such type of rocks are called metamorphic rocks. Am I clear to you all, students? Am I clear? Okay. So when we take the example, so in example we can say that the clay changes into the slate. It is also the metamorphic rock. Slate is the metamorphic rock, okay. And limestone changes into marble. So the marble is also the metamorphic rock. Marble is also the metamorphic rock. Clear, students? Okay. If you have any doubts, so you can ask to your respective teachers. Okay, you can ask to your respective teachers. Okay, but don't hesitate. Okay, and if you have any doubts, then you can revise the video. You can see the video 2 to 3 4 5 times. Okay, so the concepts are cleared in your mind. Okay. Okay. So next topic, the name of the next topic is the uses of rocks, students. The next topic we are going to take is the uses of rocks. Okay, in the beginning I told you, students, we will see the uses of rocks. Okay, so now we come to that part. Okay, now we come to that part, the uses of rocks. Okay, so students, everything in this world is useful, nothing is useless. Just keep it in your mind, everything is useful. Okay, even dust is also useful. Okay, nothing is useless in this world. Okay, nothing is useless in this world, everything is useful. So you should respect to each and everything, whether it is living or non-living. Okay, so rocks are also very useful. Rocks are also very useful. How it is useful? Okay, so rocks are useful to make the roads, okay, to make the buildings, to make the houses, to make the colonies, societies. Okay, so rocks are useful to make the road, buildings and houses. So in short, the rocks are useful to develop our country's infrastructure. Okay, the rocks are useful to develop the country's infrastructure. Okay, and you know very well, for any country, for the development of any country, the infrastructure is very helpful, very crucial part. The infrastructure is very crucial part. So that's why the rocks are very important one. Okay, even you also used these rocks. Now can you tell me how you have used these rocks? You have already used this rock. Okay, okay, you have used these rocks by which way? You have used these rocks, students, by the different type of games which you have played in the childhood. Okay, like Stapu you have played. Okay, have you played Stapu? Yes, of course. You have played the Stapu, you have played the Seven Stones. Okay, so all these games you have played in your childhood. Okay, when you were small, or still you are playing. Someone is still playing at their native places, at the villages. Okay, so by this way rocks are very useful to the human beings and to all the kind of things. Am I clear to you all, students? Okay. Okay, students, so our next topic, we will take the next topic from our next session. Till that time, stay tuned, and whenever doubts arises, you just once see the videos. Okay, refer the videos. Okay, now goodbye, students.